Have you ever noticed how your morning routine feels a little more sluggish than it used to? Or how that uncomfortable bloating takes just a bit more time and effort to resolve than before? That digestive heaviness, it's something many people over 60 experience, but often just accept as part of aging. What if I told you it doesn't have to be that way? Aging is natural, yes, but chronic constipation and digestive slowdown don't have to be. There's a way to support your digestive system and keep your bowel movements regular and comfortable, using something as simple and surprising as strategic food choices. Yes, the right protein sources can help protect you from digestive distress and help you stay active, energized, and independent for longer. I'm a registered dietitian specializing in senior nutrition, and after nearly 15 years of helping older adults overcome digestive challenges, I've learned something surprising. The right kind of protein isn't just safe, it can be one of the most effective tools for maintaining digestive health after 60. But here's what shocked me. It's not just about what you should eat. It's about what you should stop eating. Chronic constipation, the silent struggle that affects 65% of seniors, isn't inevitable. Today, I'll show you how 5 seemingly innocent everyday meats can sabotage your digestive comfort, increase your constipation risk by up to 63%, and keep you feeling bloated and uncomfortable far longer than necessary. Type 1 in the comments if you've experienced digestive issues that seem to be getting worse with age. Number 1. Processed red meat. Let me start with processed red meat, your hot dogs, sausages, and deli meats. And I know what you might be thinking. These convenient proteins might remind you of quick, easy meals, but here's the thing. These preserved meats are actually one of the most digestively disruptive foods available to older adults. I've had patients tell me, but I've been eating these my whole life, and that's exactly the problem. What your body could handle at 40 becomes a digestive nightmare at 65. Here's a statistic that might shock you. Seniors consuming more than 50 grams daily, that's just 2 slices of deli meat, increase their constipation risk by 41%. Think about that for a second. 2 thin slices of turkey from the deli counter, and you're nearly doubling your chances of digestive misery. Now I want you to pause this video for just a moment and think, how many processed meat servings did you have this week? Really, count them up. Hot dogs at the barbecue, that sandwich meat for lunch, maybe some pepperoni on pizza? Type counting in the comments if you're actually doing this exercise right now. I'll wait. Here's what makes processed meats so problematic, and this is where the science gets really interesting. When you eat a typical serving of deli meat, let's say that ham sandwich you might grab for lunch, you're getting 800 to 1200 milligrams of sodium for only a few ounces of protein. To put that in perspective, that means 75% of your daily sodium limit comes from just one sandwich filling. But here's where it gets really disturbing. A 2019 study published in Clinical Nutrition followed 2,848 seniors for 5 years. That's not some small, quick study. This is serious research. What they found was shocking. Those eating processed meats daily had significantly slower bowel movements and needed laxatives 40% more often than those who avoided them. Dr. Sarah Mitchell from Mayo Clinic, who specializes in geriatric medicine, told me something that really stuck with me. She said, the aging digestive system simply cannot process high-fat, processed meats as efficiently as it once could. We see significant improvement in digestive health when seniors transition to leaner, less processed protein sources. That's coming from someone who sees hundreds of seniors struggling with these exact issues every month. Think about it. If you're over 60 and eating processed meats regularly, you're essentially asking your already struggling digestive system to work overtime every single day. Now, let me explain exactly what's happening inside your body when you eat these processed meats, because understanding this will change how you think about that seemingly innocent deli sandwich forever. Processed meats contain over 15 different preservatives, including something called sodium nitrite. Now, I want you to think of sodium nitrite as a bouncer at a nightclub, but instead of keeping troublemakers out, it's kicking out all the good bacteria that keep your digestive system running smoothly. Here's the mechanism. As we get older, our digestive system becomes more sensitive to these chemical preservatives. It's like your gut's tolerance for troublemakers gets lower and lower each year. And these chemicals need a healthier bacterial environment to function properly, but they're destroying that very environment. The research shows that preservatives in processed meats reduce your beneficial gut bacteria, specifically bifidobacterium, by 23% in seniors compared to just 12% in younger adults. That's nearly double the damage to your digestive ecosystem. Imagine if someone came into your garden and killed off 23% of the good plants that keep everything healthy. That's essentially what's happening in your gut every time you eat processed meat. And here's something that'll really get you. Bifidobacterium is the specific bacteria responsible for keeping your bowel movements regular and comfortable. Kill it off, and you're setting yourself up for constipation, bloating, and digestive misery. What I see with my older patients is absolutely devastating, and I bet some of you watching this are nodding along because you're living it right now. Many people tell me they have trouble with painful, infrequent bowel movements, sometimes going 3, 4, even 5 days between movements. And when I ask about their diet, processed meats are almost always a major player. These meats are incredibly dehydrating and inflammatory on your entire digestive tract. It's like pouring salt on an open wound, day after day after day. Here's why it's especially problematic for seniors, and this is crucial to understand. Your kidney function naturally declines by 1% each year after age 30. Do the math. By 60, you're processing sodium 30% less efficiently than you did at 40. That innocent-looking bologna sandwich becomes a digestive disaster because your body simply can't handle the sodium load anymore. I had a 68-year-old patient, Margaret, who came to me completely frustrated. She was spending $60 a month on laxatives and fiber supplements, couldn't understand why nothing was working. When we looked at her food diary, she was eating processed meats at least twice a day. Deli turkey for lunch, sausage for breakfast, ham for dinner. Within 3 weeks of eliminating them, she was regular again for the first time in years. And here's the kicker. She actually saved money because she stopped buying all those digestive aids. If you're currently eating processed meats daily, here's exactly what I recommend. And I want you to write this down because this is your step-by-step action plan. First, eliminate them completely for 30 days and pay attention to how you feel. I know that sounds drastic, but here's why it works. Your gut bacteria need time to rebuild, and that takes about 21 to 28 days. Don't do a gradual reduction. Your digestive system needs a clean break to heal. Second, replace that deli meat with fresh, roasted turkey breast or wild-caught salmon. Yes, it takes a little more preparation time, but your digestive system will thank you. Roast a turkey breast on Sunday, slice it up, and you've got sandwich meat for the week. Third, start your day with 16 ounces of water. That's 2 full glasses. Because after eliminating processed meats, your digestive system will be most receptive to healing first thing in the morning. Add some lemon if you want, but get that hydration in. Fourth, add fiber-rich foods at breakfast. Oatmeal with berries, ground flaxseed in your yogurt, or even just an apple. Your healing gut bacteria need fiber to thrive. Keep a simple bathroom diary for those 30 days. Just note the frequency and ease of your bowel movements. You'll be amazed at the difference. Comment below, how many servings of processed meat do you eat per week? Be honest, there's no judgment here. Just learning. And if you're brave enough, also tell me what your biggest concern is about giving them up. Is it convenience? Taste? Cost? I rate every comment and I'll give you specific alternatives based on what you're worried about most. Number 2, red meat. Now let's talk about our second digestive disruptor. And this one might surprise you because it's something most people consider a healthy, wholesome food. It's red meat, beef, lamb, and pork, or as gastroenterologists call it, constipation protein. You might think of red meat as just a hearty, satisfying meal. You know, that Sunday pot roast your grandmother used to make, or that nice steak dinner for a special occasion. But here's what's shocking. This dense protein is actually one of the most constipating foods you can consume as a senior. And I get it. Red meat has been a staple of the American diet for generations. Your parents probably told you it would make you strong, right? But what worked for your body at 30 becomes a digestive burden at 65. Type steak. In the comments, if you've noticed that red meat doesn't sit with you the way it used to. I bet half of you watching this are thinking, that explains why I feel so bloated after my weekly steak dinner. The truth is, your digestive system is sending you signals, but most people just chalk it up to getting older. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Here's what's remarkable about red meat's impact on seniors. And this is where the science gets really eye-opening. Just 100 grams, about the size of a deck of cards, contains 25 grams of protein, but requires 40% more digestive energy than other protein sources. Think about that for a moment. Your digestive system is like an engine, and red meat is like premium fuel that your engine can't process efficiently anymore. That makes it one of the most taxing proteins for aging digestive systems. It's like asking a 1970s car to run on today's high-octane fuel. Technically, it's better fuel, but the engine wasn't designed to handle it. Here's the kicker. For older adults who struggle with reduced stomach acid production, and this affects 60% of people over 65, this incredible protein density becomes a digestive nightmare. Dr. Robert Chen, a gastroenterologist I work with regularly, puts it this way. It's like trying to dissolve a rock with a few drops of weak acid. The body just can't break it down efficiently anymore. I had a 72-year-old patient, Dale, who was eating red meat 5 times a week. He couldn't understand why he was so tired after meals and constantly constipated. When we switched him to fish and poultry, his energy returned within 2 weeks. He told me, I didn't realize how much work my body was doing just to digest dinner. But here's where red meat gets really problematic for seniors, and this is the part that most doctors don't explain clearly. During the 6 to 8 hour digestion process, and yes, it takes that long, something challenging happens inside your body. Your aging digestive system struggles to break down those dense muscle fibers into smaller, more manageable pieces. It's almost like your stomach has been working overtime just to process what used to be simple. Think of it like this. Imagine trying to chew a thick piece of leather with dentures instead of strong natural teeth. That's essentially what's happening to your digestive system. The research is absolutely clear on this. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Gerontology followed 1,456 seniors for 5 years. That's serious long-term research. And found that those consuming more than 100 grams of red meat daily had 52% higher rates of chronic constipation. But it gets worse. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition research showed red meat slowed colonic transit time by 28% in adults over 65. What does that mean in plain English? It means food moves through your intestines almost 30% slower when you eat red meat regularly. No wonder you feel backed up. And here's something that'll blow your mind. Younger adults in the same study showed only a 12% slowdown. So red meat affects seniors more than twice as severely as younger people. Your body is literally telling you it can't handle this food the way it used to. Now here's where red meat becomes a double problem, and this is something most people never consider. Red meat isn't just hard to digest, it also crowds out the foods that actually help your digestion. This protein source contains 0 fiber. That's right, 0% of what you need to maintain healthy bowel movements. So not only is it hard to process, but it's taking up stomach space that could be filled with fiber-rich foods that actually help you stay regular. Meanwhile, those 4 to 8 grams of saturated fat per serving require increased bile acid production from your gallbladder. And guess what? Your gallbladder becomes 30% less efficient with age. It's like asking a tired worker to do more work with fewer tools. I tell my patients to think of their digestive system like a traffic jam. Red meat is like a massive truck that takes up 3 lanes and moves slowly, while fiber-rich foods are like motorcycles that zip through and keep everything moving. When you fill up on red meat, you're creating a traffic jam in your intestines. Lisa Rodriguez, a registered dietitian who specializes in senior nutrition, explained it perfectly when she told me, the key is not eliminating all meat, but choosing wisely. Red meat is like putting a roadblock in your digestive highway. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but red meat is nutritious and filling. I need my protein, and you're absolutely right about needing protein. But here's the thing about red meat for seniors that nobody talks about. Because it's so hard to digest and constipating, you end up spending more money on digestive aids, laxatives, and doctor visits than you save by buying that economical ground beef. Let me break this down for you. The average senior spends $47 per month on digestive aids, fiber supplements, laxatives, antacids, probiotics. That's $564 per year, just trying to fix problems that could be solved by changing what's on your plate. And here's another issue: the high iron content. 2.5 to 3.5 milligrams per serving can be particularly constipating for seniors who already absorb iron less efficiently. It's like your body is trying to process something it can't use properly, creating a backup in your system. But here's the good news: just reducing red meat to once per week can make a significant difference in your digestive comfort. I've seen patients cut their laxative use in half just by making this one change. Think about it this way: would you rather spend your money on expensive steaks and then expensive digestive aids, or invest in foods that actually make you feel better? Comment costly if you've been spending money on digestive aids while still eating red meat regularly. I bet the numbers will surprise you when you add it all up. But wait, the next protein source is even more surprising, and it's probably sitting in your freezer right now, disguised as a healthy choice. This one shocked even me when I first saw the research, and it might be the worst offender of all 5. Number 3, fried chicken and fried meats. Our third digestive disruptor is fried chicken and fried meats, and this one has a very special secret that makes it uniquely harmful among all proteins. Fried meat is created through high-heat oil processing, which transforms healthy protein into inflammatory compounds called AGEs, advanced glycation end products. This might sound like just technical jargon, but it actually gives fried meat some incredible constipating properties that are especially problematic for seniors. When you eat most proteins, you're mainly getting straightforward amino acids, which digest in 2 to 3 hours, but fried meats contain significant amounts of oxidized fats and trans fats, and these are the slowest digesting components you can consume. Your body struggles to process these damaged fats, and they can take up to 6 hours longer to move through your system. A 2022 study found fried foods took 3.2 hours longer to digest in seniors versus 1.8 hours in younger adults. The research on fried meats is particularly alarming for seniors. In one study of 892 older adults, participants who ate fried foods regularly didn't just experience more constipation, they had 63% more constipation episodes than those eating baked alternatives. They also showed increased digestive inflammation and overall discomfort. The seniors in the study showed especially dramatic problems with gastroesophageal reflux, which affects 40% of people over 65. Fried meats are also problematically calorie-dense. Unlike lean proteins, which have a manageable caloric load, fried meats pack 300 to 400 calories per serving with very little nutritional benefit that works against your digestive system. The high-fat content overwhelms your gallbladder function, which is already 30% less efficient in seniors, creating a perfect storm for digestive distress. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite way to prepare chicken? I'll share some senior-friendly alternatives. Number 4. Cured and smoked meats. The fourth digestive destroyer is cured and smoked meats, bacon, ham, and smoked fish. And I know what you're thinking right now. You're probably saying, come on, not bacon, anything but bacon. Trust me, I get it. These flavor-packed proteins might taste absolutely amazing, but they're absolutely devastating for senior digestive health. You know, I've had patients literally argue with me about bacon. One 74-year-old gentleman told me, I'd rather be constipated than give up my Sunday morning bacon. Well, after 3 months of suffering, he came back and said, okay, maybe there's a middle ground here. Here's the thing about cured and smoked meats. They're designed to last forever on the shelf. But they're absolutely terrible for lasting comfort in your digestive system. Type bacon in the comments if you're eating cured meats more than twice a week. Don't worry, we're going to find you some solutions that still satisfy those flavor cravings. Let me hit you with some numbers that are going to absolutely shock you. A single serving of bacon contains 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams of sodium, and we're talking about just 3 strips here. That's nearly your entire daily sodium limit in what most people consider a side dish. Now, for seniors with declining kidney function, and that's virtually all of us after age 60. This creates severe dehydration that makes constipation inevitable. Think about it this way. Imagine pouring a cup of salt into a garden. What happens to the plants? They shrivel up and die. That's essentially what's happening to your digestive system. Here's where it gets really concerning. Your kidneys are like old plumbing. They just can't handle the pressure anymore. Remember, kidney function declines by 1% each year after age 30. By the time you're 70, you're working with kidneys that are 40% less efficient than they were when you were young. A 2020 study published in Geriatrics and Gerontology International followed 1,234 seniors and found that cured meats increased constipation risk by 47% due to their extreme sodium and preservative content. That's nearly a 50% increase. It's like flipping a coin. Heads you're constipated, tails you might be okay. I had a patient, Kathleen, 69 years old, who was eating ham sandwiches for lunch every day and couldn't understand why she needed laxatives constantly. She was literally dehydrating herself one sandwich at a time. When we eliminated the ham, she was regular again within 10 days. 10 days. That's how quickly your body can recover when you stop poisoning it with excessive sodium. But the sodium is just the beginning of the problem. Here's where cured and smoked meats become truly sinister for your digestive health. The smoking and curing process creates compounds that don't just irritate your digestive tract, they actively destroy beneficial bacteria like tiny chemical warfare agents in your gut. Think of your gut bacteria as a garden full of helpful plants that keep everything running smoothly. Cured and smoked meats are like spraying weed killer on that garden. Research shows smoked meats reduce beneficial gut bacteria by 31% in adults over 60. That's nearly 1/3 of your digestive helpers being wiped out. And here's what most people don't understand. You need those bacteria for healthy, regular bowel movements. They're like the maintenance crew for your digestive system. When they're gone, constipation becomes chronic, not just occasional. Dr. Michael Torres, a microbiome specialist I work with, explained it perfectly. Cured meats create a hostile environment in the gut. It's like trying to grow a garden in toxic soil. Nothing beneficial can survive. The most devastating part? Once these bacteria are destroyed, it takes 4 to 6 weeks of consistent healthy eating to rebuild them. So every time you eat that bacon or ham, you're essentially hitting the reset button on your digestive health. Comment, bacteria, if you've been eating cured meats regularly and wondering why probiotics aren't helping your digestion. You can't rebuild a garden while you're still spraying weed killer on it. Number 5. Ground meat products. Our fifth and final digestive disruptor might be the most surprising of all, and this one absolutely blew my mind when I first discovered it. It's ground meat products like burgers, meatballs, and meatloaf. Now you might be thinking, wait, wouldn't grinding meat make it easier to digest? That's exactly what I thought too, but the grinding process actually makes these proteins harder to digest, not easier. It's counterintuitive, right? You'd think smaller pieces would be better for your aging digestive system. But here's what's really happening. When meat is ground up, it doesn't create easily digestible small pieces. Instead, it creates what I call protein cement, dense, compacted masses that your stomach simply cannot break down efficiently. I've had countless patients tell me, but I switched to ground turkey because I thought it was healthier. Well, ground turkey is better than ground beef in some ways, but the grinding process itself creates digestive problems that most people never connect to their bathroom struggles. How many times per week are you eating ground meat products? Burgers, meatballs, meatloaf, tacos, spaghetti sauce with ground meat, chili, it adds up fast. Type grinding if you're realizing you eat more ground meat than you thought. Here's the science behind why ground meat is so problematic for seniors. When meat is ground, it creates dense protein masses that your aging stomach struggles to break down. Think of it like this. Imagine trying to dissolve a sponge versus trying to dissolve individual cotton fibers. The sponge, ground meat, is going to sit there like a lump, while the fibers, properly cut meat, break down much easier. A 2021 study published in Nutrition and Metabolism followed 678 seniors and found that ground meat products caused 38% more digestive complaints than whole muscle meats. But here's the kicker. They also took 2.1 hours longer to digest in seniors. That's over 2 extra hours of your digestive system working overtime. Your stomach acid, which is already 40% weaker than it was when you were younger, simply cannot penetrate these compressed protein masses effectively. It's like trying to wash a dirty dish with weak soap. You can scrub all you want, but without the right chemical strength, nothing's getting clean. And here's something that really surprised me. The grinding process actually changes the protein structure itself. Dr. Jennifer Liu, a food scientist who studies protein digestion, told me ground meat proteins become more tightly bound together during processing. It's like the difference between trying to untangle loose yarn versus trying to untangle a knot. I had a 66-year-old patient, Robert, who was eating ground beef in some form almost daily. Burgers, tacos, chili, you name it. He was spending $80 a month on digestive enzymes and still felt terrible after every meal. When we switched him to fish fillets and chicken breast, his digestion improved dramatically within 3 weeks. But wait, it gets worse. Ground meat products often contain breadcrumbs, fillers, and seasonings that absorb your digestive fluids, making the constipating effect even worse. These additions are like sponges that soak up the very acids and enzymes your aging digestive system desperately needs to break down food. The typical ground meat product has 15 to 25% fat content from mixing different cuts together. And this creates the perfect recipe for digestive slowdown. Remember, your gallbladder is already working at 70% capacity compared to when you were younger. Adding extra fat from ground meat products is like asking an overworked employee to take on even more tasks. Here's what really gets me fired up. Many ground meat products are marketed as convenient and easy to digest for seniors. But the reality is exactly the opposite. You're paying for convenience with your digestive comfort. And here's a hidden problem most people never consider. Ground meat products often contain onions and garlic powder as fillers, which can cause additional digestive distress in sensitive seniors. It's like a triple whammy. Hard to digest protein, excess fat, and irritating seasonings all rolled into one. The solution? If you must have ground meat occasionally, buy whole muscle meat and grind it yourself, or ask your butcher to grind it fresh. But honestly, your digestive system will thank you if you skip ground meat products altogether. Comment hidden if you never realized how many additives are in your ground meat products. Check your freezer tonight. I bet you'll be shocked at what you find on those ingredient labels. If you have diabetes, you'll want to be extra careful with processed meats due to their high sodium content affecting blood sugar control. For those watching their cholesterol, I have some reassuring news. Eliminating these 5 meat types often improves cholesterol levels within 4 to 6 weeks. If you take blood thinners, it's important to maintain consistent protein intake while making these changes gradually. For anyone with kidney disease, reducing these high-sodium proteins is especially crucial for your overall health. Let me give you clear, specific action steps you can take today. First, clean out your refrigerator and freezer of these 5 meat types. Donate unopened items to avoid waste. Second, calculate how much you've been spending monthly on these problematic proteins. You'll likely save money switching to healthier alternatives. Third, plan 3 meals this week using wild-caught fish, organic poultry breast, or plant-based proteins like lentils. Fourth, increase your water intake to 8 to 10 glasses daily to support the transition. Fifth, mark your calendar for a 90-day commitment to track your digestive improvements. After 2 weeks, start paying attention to reduced bloating and gas. After 30 days, you might notice more frequent, easier bowel movements. After 90 days, you should see significant improvements in overall digestive comfort, energy levels, and quality of life. The question now is whether you'll take that first step. Will you eliminate processed meats from your next grocery trip? Will you try wild salmon instead of ground beef this week? Will you commit to 90 days of digestive-friendly proteins to see what's truly possible for your comfort and health? Give this video a like if it helped you understand why your digestion might be struggling, and subscribe for more honest health advice specifically for seniors. Your digestive health is worth fighting for. Share in the comments which of these 5 meats surprised you most, and tell me which healthy protein you're excited to try first.